Hi, I am Fabiola and I will here to speak about some difficulties to learn English. Well, English language speakers sometimes take for granted the structure and requirements of the language. English is part to the Indo-European language family, and many of these words derive of ancient Greek and Latin, which are also common in other languages spoken in Europe. However, for learners of the language English is very difficult to learn. Exist some contradictions. Many students find that the contradictions in English language and are reasons why it becomes difficult to learning. For example, hamburgers has no ham. There is no pin or even apple is pineapple. Vegetables are main food of vegetarians, but humanitarians. You can know something like that. Well, so rules and exceptions. Another thing that confuse English learnings is that there are too many rules to follow. On the other hand, there are too many exceptions to the rules. One rule can confuse is the use A for E, except when either letter is positioned after C. Well, for example, fight and fought, light and light, seek and seek, grind and ground, blow, beer, bore, drink, drank, also happening. So it's very common word order. If you speak in English naturally, if you immediately know the order in which words are placed, this is another thing that learners find difficult to understand, explaining why there are zoological order or positional in the verb can be difficult to learn. Another thing is that the difference between a right and wrong order is sometimes elusive to discern. This is not easy to explain that the order in the word makes it sound right. You can say an interesting small cup, but it does not sound right if you say a small interest cup. It could be grammatically correct, but it's how this sound makes a subtle difference in an exception understanding the nuance of the language. For example, what is the native speakers in naturally now? The pronunciation. Spelling is spelling is the only one area makes learning English difficult. The student also has to contend with the pronunciation. There are languages such as Spanish where you have pronounced these words and as they are written in English, there are several ways to pronounce words that have almost the same letter combinations, such, for example, throw, both, and rough, and throw. Silent, silent letters are also the present of the beginning, middle, and end of some words as well. For example, knife, bride, daughter, psychology, name, lamb, half, right, and plump. The problem is accompanied by words that have more consonants than vowels and vice versa. you will find there, for example, symphony, encyclopedia, and another words. Before you breathe a scene of relief more, as there are English words on sounds that you have vowels such as bear, sh, ger, ps. These combinations of consonants form sounds that are quickly understood that means something principally in an action. Uh, a number of homophones aside from the above homophones about in English language. These are words. Um, these are words that are written the same way, but difference in the pronunciation effectively makes and meaning difference as well. This factor is very difficult for English language learners to grasp. For example, alternate when pronounced alternate. This is a choice and have alternate pronounces the same form, but the way this meaning switching from the one to another, and base is pronunciation that's written when you want to indicate a specific species, and base is pronunciation and bass as a bass when you want to describe a musical instrument. So some English words have several dissimilar meanings. For example, the word course could be a series of meaning of lessons, series and developments, actions or events, line of orientation, or flow, mode of action, a route, in a part of a middle or a reason layer. Also, and finally, emphasis of certain words. The way as a speaker puts stress of emphasis on a certain word of course makes the meaning different in a subtle way. Each time the emphasis is put on a different word in one sentence completely change its meaning. Sometimes the emphasis quite clear, so it's easier to pick up the intended meaning. However, there are times when the emphasis is not very distinct, which could land in the misinterpretation. Putting emphasis on a specific word is often used to express how someone feels. Okay? If you have a choice learning in English, if you have a native language belongs to the same language family, if you be able to recognize some of the words, if it's imperative, do you learn English? Check off one blog, or you can listen to music. Also, you can watch your favorite movie or your favorite series in English. By the way, you can use subtitles to understand what the people say there. And how to inject some fun into learning a new language. Sometimes can be difficult, but anything is impossible. And to find even never can stop learning, because life never stop teaching. Thank you.